Welcome back, friends. This weekend, Keeneland will be filled with the sweet sounds of a symphony accompanying one of Hollywood's most cherished classics. And it gets even better as a special guest from Broadway and television comes to town for a concert under the evening sky. We have musical director and conductor Scott Terrell, along with the Picnic with the Pops chairman Rob Morris, here to share the details with us. Gents, good to have you as always, and talk about a doubleheader. I mean, two great nights, Scott.
Yes, I know.
Incredible.
Yeah, so we have two just sort of star power evenings, I guess. One of the things that's really great recently is a lot of these classic movies have been re-released with live accompaniment, and I think there's no greater score where music plays such an epic part of the actual story as The Wizard of Oz.
Agreed.
And, it's pretty impressive in terms of how the music really drives that story.
Oh, wow.
And if you haven't seen it live with music, it's a very different experience than just sort of seeing it at your home.
Yes.
Because the music is really present all the time live. And so that's the first one. So we sort of kick things off with The Wizard of Oz, and then Saturday, you know, definitely a headliner of Broadway, of TV, and whatever. And I think one of the really an extremely talented artist in Matthew Morrison. Certainly his popularity with Glee recently helps, but I mean a Broadway talent of the highest order.
Right.
And so I'm pretty excited to work with him because I just think he's really an impressive artist. And so yeah, we're going to do sort of the classic Broadway and some of the newer things that he's been involved with on Broadway.
Very cool.
And a couple of surprises for people too.
So he has a lineup of some Elton John.
There's an Elton John tribute, yeah. There's a little Hairspray, there's a little West Side Story, there's a little Finding Neverland, there's classic sort of,
that's incredible.
You know, Frank Sinatra tunes. I mean, so it's a big swath he covers.
Well, you can't choose. You can't choose between one event or
well,
the
actually,
other.
you can choose both is the way to choose.
There we go. Rob, this is how do we pull this off? How do you get Hollywood star power like this into our little horse town?
Well, Picnic with the Pops is a commission made up of volunteers that are appointed by the mayor, and the mayor has charged us with making Picnic with the Pops a signature event.
Okay.
And part of that effort is trying to get artists that will attract a wider audience throughout Lexington, so that more of Lexington can experience both the artists that we're bringing in and the fine musicians that we have with the Lexington Philharmonic.
Yeah, we say star power, but that includes our friends and neighbors,
our very own
in the
Lexington Philharmonic.
You bet. They're first rate, and I can't wait for this collaboration. You know, The Wizard of Oz, it's so emotional to so many people. I mean, we all grew up with it, and I'm sure it's going to be emotional for you musicians. Scott.
And I think the other thing, as we were talking outside, is that the orchestra virtually plays for the entirety of the movie.
Wow.
And people often forget that, you know, this is how film scores were done, which is music was absolutely like the other character in the film. And so we forget how much of that sort of sweeping cinematic music that they would write for these epic movies. And that's what's, I mean, I think last night as we were going through it, I just thought, my goodness, somebody took the time to write all this just to accompany this movie, and why it continues to be, I think, to this day, such just a masterpiece of the generation. There's no question about it.
We stop on the channel surfing every time we see it.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
Talk about immersing yourself in the glory days of Hollywood.
Yes.
I mean, what an opportunity.
It is an opportunity for us, and then at the same time, Matthew is somebody we've had on our radar as, you know, he is the now, but he comes from that same generation of just really high caliber artists, the Judy Garland trained type artists, and so there's a great, I think, similarity between, say, Judy Garland and Matthew Morrison. The connection is very much there, and so I think if you want, don't make a choice, as Rob and I kept saying, like, don't make the choice, just choose both. It's just easier than that. So.
Well, guys, thank you so much for bringing both of these wonderful opportunities to the community, and we've got the information for you on the screen on how you can partake in both. Oz with Orchestra Friday, August 19th, and the evening with Matthew Morrison following up on the 20th, of course, at our beloved Keeneland. Perfect venue, too. So. Guys, thanks again. We appreciate it. Always good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you both.
Thanks.
Back in just a second, folks. Stick around.